Yo, 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 yo. Welcome into a little Sports 56 happy hour. I'm your buddy Johnny Radio. It is a wonderful, cold Monday here in the Mid-South. I hope you're having a fun Monday, just trying to maybe chill, drink a little coffee, maybe put a little Tito's in your cup, because we got all kinds of good stuff to get to. Memphis took care of business yesterday against North Texas. P.J. Haggerty. That crazy three-pointer that he hit. Just love this guy. Defense down the stretch, getting good steals. Danger. It was another good performance by your Memphis Tigers, and you know at 11:30 today. We're going to talk with Terry Davis. We don't need a Care Bear stare, but you're going to get one. We're going to talk Tigers. We're going to talk Grizzlies. We're going to talk this basketball team, what they got to continue to take care of business. They don't play another game until, what, Saturday? Is that how long they're off?
I think that's right.
Man, dude, I'm ready to see some more Tiger hoops. Got to talk about the Dallas-Memphis game as well tonight. We'll talk about what's going on with that Grizz-Nass. They're finally back at the crib, peeps. They're back at the crib. We will talk about the Grizzlies, Mavericks, what's been going on with them. And then, of course, we got to talk all things college football. Thursday and Friday, we finally get some action back. I know I'm excited. Oh, by the way, we do have action. Is it the FCS championship going on
tonight.
today?
Yes.
There's a line on that bad boy in there.
Yeah, of course there is.
If there's a line on it, we're going to be gambling. We're going to make some bets. I forgot about that before I get too far ahead of myself. We got Monday Night Football. It's not from the National Football League, obviously, as the regular season has wrapped up. It is OV, but we do have a little football to bet on. You know you're going to get your bet here at the end of the show. We'll also ask Jake Crane if he has any idea North Dakota State or Montana State. Montana State currently a 3.5-point favorite, total 58.5. And they're at the Toyota Stadium in Frisco, Texas. Is that where the Tigers played?
That is where the Tigers played.
So they're playing the FCS championship game in a soccer field?
I believe that's right, yeah.
That's kind of sad. It's kind of sad. But we also have some major college football going on. Again, Thursday, everything is going to be kicking off. I am excited. I don't know about y'all, but college football is going to be buck this week. Notre Dame, Penn State, first game. It's going to be at 6:30. Notre Dame's currently a 2.5-point favorite over the Nittany Lions. Total is 45.5. And then, of course, you know what's going down Friday, Ohio State and Texas. So we got college football. We got to wrap up the National Football League. We've got tons of stuff to get into. And, by the way, Dacus, do you know who Joy Taylor is?
Yes.
Why didn't we hire her?
Oh. That was not only her, but all of the allegations that came out yesterday about Fox.
Skip Bayless offering $1.5 million.
It's crazy.
For a little love. By the way, do you think Skip Bayless' wife is very upset today, or does she even care?
I mean, if you're offering that type of money for that stuff, I'm sure she probably already knows.
Yeah, I would think so. She's just spending his money. I mean, and by the way, as much as annoying as the Cobra is, could you imagine if if he wasn't going on outside the marriage?
I mean, good Lord.
And if you don't know what I'm talking about, that means you have to be extremely young and you have not been on your Twitter at all. Because I think the Joy Taylor thing's been trending for almost, what?
About 24 hours.
I'm talking about the first thing yesterday when I woke up.
Yeah.
That was the top thing on my search bar. Man, it was interesting. And the best part about it is all those former interviews that she's done about Princess Boys. Did you see that one?
I missed that one.
Because she's a woman that makes her own money. And if she wants to date a princess boy, which is a boy who wants to be taken care of by a princess.
I'll be one. I mean, it sounds good to me.
But she said if that's what she's going to do, then she's also going to act like a man and go out and do what most men do who take care of
Joy Holla.
women.
I mean,
and then also the wonderful other ones that we saw with Joy Taylor about women have to work twice as hard to get to where they're at. Well, I don't know if you know this. I can't spread my legs and get a job. Could you imagine me walking into Eli's office and trying to seduce him? You know, during Hardwood today, where I got some funny stories. 12:30, we're breaking them down because all the stories from this weekend have just been buck wild. Like, who had, like, it's January 6th. Who had, like, Jello Ball having the best song of the year? Skip Bayless offering a woman $1.5 million for a little horizontal mambo. And then, of course, you know, you got what's going on with everything in Fox. Like, I mean, Acho. Oh, we got so many things to get through. Again, Tigers, Grizzlies, 11:30. Hardwood because it feels so good. We'll talk Joy Taylor and FS1. We got bets. We actually got a college football game to bet on. It's the FCS Championship.
Have you watched either of these teams play this year, John?
No, I don't.
All right.
But I do know that I have Jake Crane from the greatest sports show, I think, going, period. You can get it on YouTube. Man, I do it all the time. You can go to Apple. You can get it anywhere. But, man, I love putting it on the YouTube because I could watch it on my television.
That's right.
It's unbelievably produced. It's very, very well done. And there's nobody who has more analogies than Jake Crane. You might be the funniest dude I know. First and foremost, Happy New Year. What up, Jake?
Man, what is up, guys? Happy New Year. And I tell you what, we're doing a lot better than they're doing over at FS1 right now.
Well, see, I was disappointed. The first thing I said this morning, I was like, why didn't we hire Joy Taylor out of Miami when things were going, man? Like, Lord.
Well, like, you know, it wouldn't be so bad if her and Emmanuel Acho didn't get on there like every 3 days and talk about how hard it is to make your way in this space. And it just looks so bad because you basically did the oldest profession in the world, allegedly, to get where you've gotten. So there's a lot of fake people out there, man. That's why Crane & Company needs to be your go-to.
It is. I think it's the number one thing going. And we got all kinds of things going on. I'm fired up. We, of course, got the college football playoff is kicking back into gear. I can't wait for Thursday. And we're going to talk a whole lot of college football. Of course, Jake Crane is the man who, I mean, they all show you, Blaine, and David Cohn. From David Cohn breaking down the sets on y'all's little side sesh to all your guests, everything. I don't think there's any show out there that's breaking down college football quite like you. So, of course, I got to ask you this off the jump. Last week, I talked a whole lot about, I was kind of like, man, is there a perfect scenario in which we crown a national champion? And I say to myself, I don't think there is one. In the BCS era, we would have had Georgia playing Oregon. In the, you know, when it was just a 4-team playoff, you would have had Notre Dame and Georgia, and you would have had Oregon, and then they would have had to decide if they want to take an ACC champion, a Big 12 champion, or a second-place SEC or Big 10 team. Ergo, Ohio State, who right now is favored to win it, wouldn't even be in the playoff. And then, of course, we go to the 12 team. First 4 games were terrible. The way they slotted. There doesn't seem like there's not a perfect way to crown a champion. But do you think that right now the 12-team playoff is better than the BCS and the previous, of course, college football championship round of 4?
Well, you know, to your point, somebody's always going to be upset. I mean, we let 72 teams in the NCAA basketball tournament, and the team that finishes 73rd and doesn't get in is going to be upset. So you'll always have people that end up being upset. But there is a most efficient or a best way to do it. And to me, we don't do it the best way, not because of the number of teams, even though I wanted 8 instead of 12, but how we get the 12 and where we seed the 12. That's the problem. If you want to put 4 teams in there, fine. You want to put 8 teams in there, fine. You want to put 12 in there, okay. But the way that you calculate who gets in, it is so subjective, and the way that we give the conference champions an automatic bye in a top 4 seed if you're in a top 4 conference, I think is asinine. I think you should reward conference champion winners if you're a top 4 conference by giving them an automatic bid. And you know what, Johnny Radio, there will be some overlap. Oregon was a conference champion and should have been the number 1 seed and gotten a bye. They earned it. But to me, it's not as much about the number, even though I think that can be tweaked. The biggest problem is the structure, and we don't use enough of a computer. Like we talk about the BCS, I would love if with you know, the BCS formula wasn't perfect, but I think it's better than what we have. I've sat here week after week and said we need a 4-layer deal to decide who these 12 teams get in. We use a computer for 3, strength of schedule, obviously. I think even scoring margin, if you cap it, can be used. I think there needs to be, your win-loss record needs to be the third one because that's an objective number, right? You won this amount of games, you lost this amount of games. And then that fourth layer, that other 25% could be a committee, but it doesn't need to be a committee full of people. Like if I go to the hospital and something is wrong with my kidney, I want a doctor to tell me what's wrong, not the person who owns the land the hospital was built on. Those are the people that need to be on the committee. I mean, we saw that video of them watching the games. I have never seen a more uncomfortable, non-ball knowing group than those people together. There wasn't a beer in sight. There wasn't a chicken wing in sight. And you can just tell these people have no business picking who should be in the playoffs.
Man, I could have said any better. One other thing, man, before everything kicked off, I kind of said, I just was making the statement like, man, if you get a bye, I feel like you get gypped off. I said, and now I've just basically come out and said, if you get a bye, you die in the current format. Because all 4 teams that had the first round of the playoffs that were at home, all 4 home team won. They got a home field game. They got momentum going into next week. And all the 4 teams that had a bye didn't get a home playoff game, didn't get all that money, and also didn't get any confidence going in forward. And sometimes momentum can just carry it. I mean, these are college football players. They're not professional, even though they're getting paid. And I just feel like right now the bye, like if you get a bye, you die. Ohio State was so fired up after Tennessee. Texas rolled Clemson. You had Penn State roll SMU. Notre Dame rolls Indiana. And guess what? All 4 teams that played in the first week played the 4 teams that got the bye. The bye teams all died. What do you think about the bye system?
Well, look, is there a somewhat of an advantage to maybe playing the week before and getting some more momentum? I think a little bit, But my thing is, if you're going to say that time matters, right, because that's what we're saying, that, well, you got an extra week off, so time matters, you may be a little bit rusty. How can you say that that matters, but all these guys who played football since they were 8 years old somehow just forget? Like, that time doesn't matter? Like, we discount that time, which is a much bigger stretch of time. I'm a firm believer in, like, these guys aren't Drew Barrymore from 50 First Dates. They didn't run into a tree and now they wake up every day and don't know who they are or where they at or forget what happened before. So I think it's a little bit of an excuse. I know as a coach, give me the automatic win. 100. I don't think Dan Campbell's going to be upset about not having to play in the first round. I don't think his guys are going to forget. So, and then on the other hand, Texas was a better team than Arizona State, right? Penn State was a better team than Boise State. I don't think if you would have flipped it, if Boise would have played the first week and Arizona State would have played the first week, I still don't think they're better than Texas or Penn State. So I get that all 4 of the teams with a bye lost, but sometimes that's how it is, man. Sometimes on roulette it hits green twice in a row. It's just how it plays out. So I don't think that's the main reason. It could be a little bit of an advantage if you win, but again, you've had to play an extra game. Abdul Carter got hurt. So, like, are we just going to discount injuries that happen? Are we going to discount you putting another game on film in a high-pressure elimination game that could show maybe some more tendencies or where you feel like your team's at? To me, I think it's more of an excuse than it is an advantage.
Ryan Day went from getting fired, like everybody and their grandmother, bar stools, when we went up to Columbus for the Tennessee-Ohio State game, which was pretty wild. I mean, like you had the plane where they have the sign behind it, extend Ryan Day because he's a Michigan fan. You had all kinds of just people basically crapping on Ryan Day. Right now, Ohio State's favored to win it all. What do you think about just the turnaround? They absolutely beat the brakes off of Tennessee, and then somehow that defense went out there and slowed down and almost basically brought to a screeching halt the Ducks and Dylan Gabriel.
Well, it seems like all the talk kind of circled the wagons for Ohio State. I think the problem with Ryan Day is, look, Americans love an underdog story, but you're at Ohio State, so it's hard to play the underdog angle, and Ryan Day's just not very likable, right? I mean, some guys just aren't likable. I don't think Brian Kelly's super likable. I don't think Nick Saban was super-duper likable. But if you win and you win national championships, it doesn't matter. We have a saying for that, right? Winning cures everything. I think the bigger question is, does he, and I don't think he has to win the national championship now after the way they've played the last couple of games, but there was really only one way for him to get back in the good graces of the Ohio State fans and administrators, and that was by winning, and they're dominating. So if you're going to continuously lose to your rival, really the only way to save face is to go win the national championship. So do I think the talk about him getting fired was kind of a little bit more because people don't like Ryan Day and they look at Ohio State as having an advantage over most of the college football world? I do, but he had really had one play left, and he's winning in that play. So look, there's a lot of overreaction that happens in college football. I mean, heck, we do shows that cover it for a living. So part of me's kind of happy for him, but part of me just really still doesn't like him.
It's also because I'm telling you, like, it's that just for men that he puts in his beard. Like, men care about their beards, and Ryan Game's beard game is just awful.
Well, it seems everything about Ryan Day kind of seems fake, right? Mm-hmm. Like he's kind of a fake tough guy. Like I even watched like his pregame speeches, and it's almost like that celebrity athlete that goes and acts in a movie, and they're trying too hard, and they're just not good at acting. That's what it just doesn't feel genuine. Like when you watch somebody like, say what you want about Shane Beamer, seems pretty genuine. Say what you want about Lane Kiffin. I think we all know Lane's really being himself. Ryan Day just seems like the guy that like is the real tough guy, but then when you punch him in the face, he runs away. That's kind of the vibe I get.
Right now, can Texas be tough as Ohio State's been? That's the game on Friday. It's game number 2. Ohio State has come out there, and again, the way the offense dominated Tennessee's front seven was so impressive. And then on the flip side, against the Oregon Ducks, it was the front seven of Ohio State that was absolutely filthy and nasty in the secondary. How does Texas get Ohio State? Ohio State's a 6-point favorite.
Well, look, if Ohio State keeps, the game plan that Chip Kelly had against Michigan was an emotional one. They weren't playing to their strengths. They were trying to prove a point that they could out-physical Michigan, and they fell right into the only trap Michigan could set. So if they keep playing to their strengths, they're going to be really, really tough to beat. Where I worry about Texas is I think Texas's defense can slow down Ohio State somewhat. I just don't know if Quinn Ewers is creative enough. If that offensive line run blocks like they did against Arizona State, Texas may not score a point because they're going to be in third and passing the whole game, and Quinn Ewers can't escape like some of these other guys could. Like if you look at when Oregon scored, a lot of it was Dylan Gabriel improvising outside of the pocket, right, or making throws on the run. If Quinn Ewers sees pressure, he folds like a cheap tent. So I'm more worried about Texas being able to move the ball than I am about Ohio State going out there and scoring 45 on Texas's defense. To me, this game's going to kind of be maybe a little bit low-scoring early. Texas's defense may stand up early, but eventually that dam is going to break, and I just think over time Ohio State's chances to score more points is higher than Texas is with Quinn Ewers at quarterback. Say what you want about Will Howard. The dude's throwing about as good as he possibly can. Now, I know Jeremiah Smith is just running wide, naked, open most of the time, but that throw he made to Ibuka was one of the best throws I've ever seen him make, even going back to Kansas State.
Like a starting drive, like start off against Tennessee too. He's just, right now Will Howard's playing at a level that he hadn't played at Ohio State all season long. They're absolutely killing it. Quinn Ewers, can he handle the pressure for Ohio State? Because you give him a clean pocket, this kid can throw the football. The Arizona State game shocked me. After that safety, it felt like he lost it, and then, of course, picked it up on 4th down and he made that hell of a throw, and then the rest is history. Texas wins the game against Arizona State. How good of a game does Quinn Ewers have to have?
Man, I think he's got to play almost perfect. But to me, again, we can talk about Quinn Ewers, and we should. It's going to come down to the offensive line. If they keep him clean, he can make plays. Golden's a good player. Helm's a good player. I think Wisner's is still a really good running back. They have some weapons, but that offensive line, I know they're beat up. Banks went down in the game against Arizona State. If they go out there and they cannot run the ball, and Ohio State and Jim Knowles can pin their ears back and go get Quinn Ewers, they're going to sack him at least 5 times.
Notre Dame and Penn State. They play Thursday. That game, man, it's a tough game to get a feel on. I mean, everybody says Drew is going to be like, if he was coming out, he might be the first overall quarterback taken off the board. I just think he has like the Chuck Knobloch, and he can't throw the ball. He either has the yips and throws it high, or just doesn't hit wide open wide receivers. Not a big fan of Drew, but they can run and play defense. Notre Dame, Riley, I mean, like he does it with his legs, he does it with his mind, he does it with his cadence. He just kind of does it different, but it's successful. Who's got the better shot at pulling this one out, James Franklin or Marcus Freeman?
Well, I mean, Marcus Freeman winning that game, kind of getting over that big opponent hump for Notre Dame, right? Even though I know Georgia isn't what they've been in the past, but that's not taking anything away from what Notre Dame did. Notre Dame bullied Georgia on the line of scrimmage.
Yep.
I mean, if we're going to be honest, I never thought I would say that, but they did. I think the difference here, because these teams, it's basically the Spider-Man GIF. It's just that they're very, very similar in the way that they're built and kind of their tendencies and what they lean on. I do think the difference is Riley Leonard's legs once again. You know, you go back to that Georgia game, he was able to extend drives when the play broke down, because with these defenses, it's not going to be perfect. And Notre Dame's really good at the running back position. I think Faison is a nice piece. I think, Greathouse is a nice piece, but they're not elite at the skill position at wide receiver. So Riley Leonard's ability to improvise and his smarts as a runner, not that Drew Aller's got that goofy kind of, it's hard to tackle goofy runners like Jameis Winston. He may not be the fastest or the most athletic laterally, but when you run funny, it's hard to tackle, right? It's like a giraffe on roller skates. So I think Aller can create a little bit, but Riley Leonard's legs, I think, are going to be the difference, because I think it's going to be a stalemate at the line of scrimmage. I don't think there's going to be a lot of running room for either team. So the difference may come down to the improvisational plays. You know, sometimes the game is like a movie with a script. Sometimes it's like, whose line is it anyway? And the team that can improvise the best wins. I think it's going to be the latter.
All right, who's going to be playing in the national championship?
Well, I picked Notre Dame and Texas to play at the beginning. So as worried I am about Texas playing Ohio State, I'm going to ride with what I predicted earlier. I had Notre Dame beating Georgia. But I tell you what, man, you'd be crazy not to bet Ohio State. I wonder, Johnny Radio, can you play perfect, almost perfect, for 3 straight games against these type opponents? That they are human beings. The odds of you going out there, and it's not playing well, but playing at such an elite level. Can Texas bounce back on the offensive line? That's the biggest question of this game. But look, I've been A1 since day one. I'm gonna dance with the ones that brought me. So give me Texas Notre Dame.
Last but not least, do you have any idea Monday Night Football is actually the FCS championship, North Dakota State, Montana State? Any clue?
Well, my buddy's a wide receiver coach at Montana State, so give me Montana State by 1,000.
Montana State by 1,000. He is Jake Crane. Make sure you follow him at the at Jake Crane _. Follow Crane and Company at Crane and Company, and always check him out every single day. What you got coming down the pipe this week?
Man, well, we actually got a little bit of a new format we're going to bring this year. I'm really excited about it. We're going to start today. It's still us, obviously doing what we normally do, but we got some new segments, some new ways we're going about it. We got a couple shot clocks. So I'm really excited to unveil it today, 2 p.m. Central, YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Roku. Come hang out. We're talking college football, NFL playoffs, and even got a little participation trophy award we're giving at the end. May talk a little bit of about what's going down at FS1 and how Colin Cowherd's now the golden child.
Yeah, no, just because he didn't make a pass at Joy, please.
Look, yeah, Colin's too worried about people finding that LeBron Ben Simmons take.
Hey, do me a favor, enjoy the rest of your week, and I appreciate your time. Happy New Year, homie.
Hey, Happy New Year, everybody out there, and stay safe. It's the weather in Nashville. It's not southern right now. Let's put it that way.
Man, Jake, be safe up there in Nashville. Memphis ain't all that great either. We're late for a break, but we're talking Memphis Tiger basketball. We got Terry Davis on the other side. Sports 56, 98.5 FM.
Be sure to follow us at Sports 56 WHBQ on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube to watch live video of our shows. Stay up to date with station events and have chances to win prizes. Don't miss out on anything that's going on. Follow us at Sports 56 WHBQ.
Nestled in the heart of East Memphis, located corner of Park and Cherry, is a beautiful residential neighborhood. I'm here at Town Village Audubon Park with us why you chose Town Village. Well, if your parents or special friends need to make that big move, let me share with you my experience. It was tough for me to leave home, but then I discovered Town Village. I would like to highly recommend Town Village to you and your loved ones. After looking at all the amenities and meeting all the people and staff, I was hooked. From restaurant, bistro, 3 meals per day, housekeeping, transportation, security, health care, physical therapy, exercise room, and even a heated pool and spa. Come see us and make your new home in Town Village.
Visit us and call Daniel at Town Village Auto Park, 901-374-7342.
There's no place like home, Town Village.
Is your wife asking you to stop eating junk food? We have it covered at Humdingers. It's quick, it's healthy, and most important, it tastes amazing. Many choices from salmon salad to rainbow trout and grilled asparagus. Come visit us for lunch at Humdingers, 6300 Poplar Avenue. So good, Coach Penny eats with us weekly. Don't forget, Humdingers offers full-service catering for weddings, social events, or your corporate lunches. You can call 901-260-8292 to find out more. Locally owned and operated for over 40 years, Automatic Gates Construction tailors custom-made solutions for all your residential, commercial, and industrial needs, including repairs, maintenance, and installation. Automatic Gates Construction specializes in designing and installing automatic gates and fencing that seamlessly blends security, functionality, and aesthetic appeal. Elevate the safety and efficiency of your property with a premium gate solution. Automatic Gates Construction at myautomaticgates.com.
Welcome back to a little Sports 56 Happy Hour. I'm your buddy Johnny Radio. January 6th. It's freaking cold. It is really, really cold out there. Wish I had my jacket, you know. Would make sense on a day like this. Sadly, I lost it. I got it on Christmas Day and lost it by New Year's Day.
Wow.
It'll come back to me. You just got to let things go. If they
That's
love
right.
you, they'll come back, right?
That's what they say about good things.
Like Joy Taylor. Oh, man, it always makes me think of that Chappelle episode. Do you remember the Chappelle episode where they do a little street interview and the lady's like, the guy's like, what's the craziest thing you've ever done? And she's like, oh, one night I went back and basically had a throuple action with my sorority sisters cheering me on. And then Chappelle, they ask him, well, what's the most dangerous thing you've ever done? And he's like, sleep with this dirty.
That's a good one.
Oh, man. I guess that's, man, I just got Joy Taylor on the brain this morning.
Yes, you do.
I'm just disappointed that I'm like, why do I hire people like you?
Great question.
I guess,
Maybe
you know
the
what?
best one you've asked today.
No, I will never get accused of, man, I don't have 1.5 million like Skip Bayless, but I mean, oh well. If you haven't heard about it, 12:30 today during Hardwood, you will hear a lot about Joy Taylor. Terry Davis, if she gets fired, are you going to try to hire TD?
Yo, what up, my brother?
How you doing on this cold Monday?
Oh, man, it's winter, man. It's good, man. I'm good.
Man, it's a little chilly though.
Man, it's winter, man. I'm good.
All right. Hey, it's winter. I'm
I'd rather
good.
be cold than be slide.
I hear you on that one. I'd rather be cold right now than working over at FS1 or Fox Sports right now with all the stuff going on with them.
Hey, man, you got to be careful when you're talking about Chappelle, man, because there's a lot of stuff that can get you off the air.
It's true.
Who?
Chappelle, you better be careful
Oh, I
talking
know.
about Chappelle.
Oh, I know. I'm very close. I think about things before I say usually.
Man, with Chappelle, you don't even bring that up at work, man. You only bring that up with no microphone because some of that stuff, man, is woo.
That's why it's still so damn good, man. Speaking of being good, though, Memphis, Maine took care of business. I have to say, North Texas put on a hell of a fight. But
yeah, that's what they do, man. They gritty, man.
They are gritty.
They're gritty.
They really are.
And that's one of the hardest I'm glad we don't have to go there this year. That's one of the places we don't have to go, which is a good place. So if Memphis got 16 minefields left, before Selection Sunday, man. So if they can avoid 14 of them, I think they'll be okay.
They can avoid 4. I think they are going to be good right now. Like, this team just is, like, they are also resilient. And PJ Haggerty, I mean, it's either one day it's Colby Rogers, one day it's Tyrese Hunter, one day it's PJ Haggerty, one day it's Dane Danger, Moses Cisse having the best game of his season against Ole Miss. It feels like it's somebody different every single night, but the one thing that's always consistent is PJ Haggerty's going to get you what he's going to get you. And that three-pointer, he went 3 for 3, but he made one as time was running out, and he shot it from deep, and he shot it where it almost hit the rafters and went right down the middle of the net. That dude's just got ice water. I love this guy. Talk to me a little bit about PJ.
And you know what? He's just a nice and humble guy. He's not cocky. He's not complacent. This guy hadn't even been a wing guru yet, man. Somebody got to get him a wing guru. He don't know what wing guru is in Memphis. So I asked him a question yesterday. How's he enjoying his time here? He's really enjoying his time here, and he's beginning to be recognized. Because one thing when he played at his other place, it wasn't a basketball mecca, so he was just playing ball. But I think he's really, really enjoying the playing for Memphis, and he's showing it each and every time he go out there. Because the guy's a hustler.
He is a hustler, and they just got this team is just different. And again, it feels like this team also knows their role. Nick Jourdain, nobody knows what he's supposed to do. PJ Carter, when he comes off the bench, knows his role. Moses Cisse and Dane Danger, the way they're either on the court at the same time, when one's coming in, one's starting, it doesn't matter. This team actually just plays together, and they play like a unit.
They do, and they play like what you call an old school team. Just like a lot of people don't realize, when Memphis went to the Final Four in 2008, it's because those guys had been together for 3 years and they were ready to go. Then they added a little to the pot with Derrick Rose, and that just took it up to another level. This team don't have a Derrick Rose to add to the pot, but they're blending in like they've been playing with each other the last 3 or 4 years. And they know each other and they like each other, and they don't have any jealousy and animosity toward one another. Because all the NIL stuff is out the way. No one's trying to sue Penny because he didn't pay them their money. These guys are all on the same page, and they're trying to go as far as they can in the NCAA tournament.
How much does it have to do with this year's coaching staff that Penny put together? Again, he made some comments last week about how they're all on the same page. They're all supportive of each other. What do you think about the assistants that he's put together? I mean, this has got to be, like, right now, everything's living up.
I'm biased, man, because I like each and every one of those guys. I've been knowing each and every one of those guys that's been coaching Memphis for at least 15 or 20 years. And I like all of them, even Mike Anderson, Mike Davis. I like him. He is really, really a nice guy. And I've been knowing him since, he was at UAB in Indiana. And even when he was at Texas Southern, I just like the way the guy coach, and I just like him as a person. And same thing with Lil Dre. Me and him been knowing each other since he was in high school. And same thing with Jermaine Johnson. These guys have no hidden agenda. They all are trying to coach, and they're all trying to win for the school, because they know if they win for the school, it's going to make the city better. It's going to make them better, because none of these guys are really trying to go and get a head coach, because all these guys have already been head coaches. They can leave at any time to go to get a whole head coach. But they understand is the further they go, the better their resume is, and they're trying to push this team as far as they can get them.
Yeah, I like Mike Davis. Love Nolan Smith. Of course, everybody knows Dwight Boyd and Andre Turner and everybody else. I mean, I like the staff. I just also like the fact that Penny seems to be.
No, he's different.
He's
different.
totally different. Like,
yes, he is.
And he's tearing it up right now, and everything he's calling feels like he's just pushing all the right buttons. And I don't even know what to say, man. I'm just so excited about this basketball.
I asked him that yesterday. I asked him because this is the first year we've actually seen Penny display emotion.
Mm-hmm.
It's not. I'm just not saying it's wrong not to display emotion because you do that in practice, but he's done that in practice in the game. Last week, one of his favorite players, Nick Jourdain, he benched him because he didn't like what he was doing on the court at FAU when the team was up 15, 20 points. He set him on the bench and let Dane Dangers continue to play with 4 fouls because he was mad at Nick Jourdain. Last year Penny wouldn't have done that. It's one thing to be a player's coach, and you can always be a player's coach, but you always have to be in control. You cannot let the asylums run the insane asylum. You can't let the inmates do that.
That is
you
true.
You got to let them know, look, this is my way or the highway. Either you accept it or you don't. And last year was an example where he let stuff get out of control and stuff went the way it shouldn't have gone. Because that team was a Final Four, second weekend team at the least. But because they weren't on the same page, everything fell apart. And Penny don't want that to happen 2 years in a row.
Well, it doesn't look like it's going to happen. But my question is also, though, like when I watch the Memphis Tigers, of course, I see them through blue shaded glasses. I feel like they can play with anybody in the country. But Tennessee, who's right now undefeated still, like they're ridiculous. Like if you've watched this basketball team, like I did watch them beat the crap out of Arkansas this week, like they are just filthy nasty. They already played Auburn. You look at Duke, some of the best teams out there. How do they stack up?
When Memphis is shooting the ball, they can play with any team in the country when they're making their shots. Yesterday, they weren't making their shots. Even though they made 50% of their shots, they weren't hitting from three. But when they're hitting from three, because this team is outside base, outside versus inside, no one in the country, they can play with anyone in the country on any neutral court.
How much of a razor's edge are they walking right now with the depth?
You know what? One thing that they got going for them, that this conference is not as deep as it needs to be. So when they get to a certain school, we know I can call who they can be. Like they had FAU, so they were able to play the guys 22, 23 minutes. So if they can get them down to 25 minutes for 6 or 7 of these games, it'll help out. Because like this week they get a break because the next game ain't until Saturday, so they got time to have a couple of days off to rest those legs. So as long as they can just be healthy come the first week of April, first week of March, they should be good to go.
You think anybody's with our three guards, the amount of minutes they're playing, is there anybody in better shape in the country than those three guards?
The Memphis Grizzlies, they're the only other team because they run just as fast.
You know what? No, that's a pretty good answer. But, man, I'm telling you, man, Memphis just be balling. The other thing that's so crazy is how come they can't get any love over in the net?
Computers don't know. The computers know the computers know. Computers know about numbers. Because it's when you set these computers up, you give certain conferences biases, like the Big Ten, the Big East, and the SEC, because those are the best conferences. When you play each other, even if you lose against each other, it's no big deal because you've already put the strength of conference in there. But Memphis should be in the top 10 in every metric hand because they have the most wins in Quad 1 and Quad 2 wins. But those computers don't look at that. They didn't look at the pure numbers. They look at how much you win by, what's your efficiencies, and all that other jargon they set it up to be. But the eye test is you put Memphis against, they're ranked in like 36. You put them against any team from 15 down, they probably beat them by double digits.
I like to hear that. Again, though, but Memphis now with 4 Quad 1 wins as Ole Miss moved up to 30, making it a Quad 1 win. And North Texas moved up 7 spots to 69, giving it another Quad 2 win. So 6 Quad 2s and 4 Quad 1s. Not bad for your Memphis Tigers. Grizzlies back in action tonight at the crib.
Whew.
Dallas.
Thank God they're back home. Whew.
Man, that was a long stretch, wasn't it?
That was a long. Yeah, they're not home for two games, and they go back on the road for 4 or 5 more. It's a long stretch. They're gonna be gone.
Man, it's a good thing that they fly first class.
and hopefully, knock on wood, the bodies will be returning sooner rather than later. Hopefully, Santi's back. You know, with Santi missing those 4 games, it really showed how much this team really missed Santi Aldama. You know, Jaren Jackson Jr., he did what he needed to do. Jalen did what he had to do, but they need Santi and Ja back, you know, in order for them to compete with everybody. I hate that they dropped the OKC game on the road without Ja and without Santi, but they're on the slip at 3rd place, so they still in contention for the top 4 spot.
And also that Golden State Warriors game, I didn't think they really were going to have a chance after what they did in Memphis to Golden State. You know, you don't have Ja. I will say, though, I got to give some respect. Zach Edey pushed Draymond Green. I like that.
Zach Edey he's a big guy, and he's not going to back down for nobody. He may be a rookie, but he's not backing down for nobody because he's like the kid who's been pushed around all his life, and he ain't gonna get pushed around no more.
I like that as well. And then Jalen Wells, like,
Oh my God, that's my guy.
dude,
That's my guy.
he's been he had a little coming out party in front of some of his family and friends. Did he not?
Yeah, he did. I don't think it was a coming out party. I think it was just he's just showing what he is basically the best rookie in this class, but he's just not gonna get the love because he's not a top first round pick. He's not playing in a big market. He didn't play for Purdue with Zach Edey because Zach Edey gets more love for first team than he does. And there's no offense, and they're not going to complain about it because he is the best defensive rookie out there, and he has some of the best numbers as a rookie out there too. So he should be in consideration for Rookie of the Year, but he won't get no love because he plays for Memphis.
Man, it's crazy, man. When I was watching that Kings game, I was like, damn, my man was making it rain. He hit 8 3-pointers. Now, the final 3-pointer that he hit with no time left cost me the under by half a point. So, yeah, I'm a little perturbed at him. But
First of all, you
damn.
can never bet Memphis in the under.
Well, dude, it went in line. They were scoring it got up to like 170
I
and a
know.
half or whatever
I
it was.
know.
And then he hit that last 3 and I had under 700, like 270 and a half. And I was like, no.
Yeah,
Lost by half.
Memphis is one of those teams, when they're clicking, they always go for 125, 130 points. So it's hard to take Memphis in the under. I don't care who they're playing.
Oh, I know, but
Because-
like 270 is like
Yeah.
almost all-star game style. Like I was just like, and I know the first quarter they scored, I think 78 points, and I was like, damn. That's why it shot up to 270. And I was like, they can't keep this pace up. Well,
But they can't.
I was
But you know
wrong.
what? Well, you know what impressed me the most? Even though Kevin Durant hit like 28 points on him, you know who guards him the most of the time? Jalen Wells is the one who guards him a lot. And when he stood next to Kevin Durant, you can see how tall the guy really is.
he's a big boy, and what a damn pickup by Kleiman and the boys. My Lord. What about the trade like rumors that are swirling around? Is this stuff hard for you?
It's not hard for me because I'm so used to Memphis people always trying to trade away their teams. If you trade away those pieces for Jimmy Butler, he may get you what you need, but he's going to blow up what the philosophy of this team is. Because if he comes out here, he's not a running guy like the guys are. He doesn't fit the system that they put in place. Because they want to run. Jimmy Butler's not a runner. He's a half-court dude. He's a guy that they want the games in the 90s and the 100s in the low 110s. This Memphis team wanted in the 120s and 130s. I don't know if Jimmy Butler's going to fit that. And for what a lot of people say they're going to get for Marcus Smart, Luke Kennard, Jake LaRavia, you've given up about 15 points a game to get him. And I don't know if he gives you that many more wins.
Steelers are your favorite football team in the entire world still, right?
Yep, they ain't changed. Ain't nothing changed. I'm not a front runner.
Man, y'all hadn't won a playoff game since 2016. You got to be telling
Well,
you better
the
be
Dallas
kidding
Cowboys
me.
ain't been in the playoffs since 2016. Oh, my bad. That's a different show.
That was No, man. Dega's over there. He loves him some Cowboys. I love breaking his heart. But no, for real, I'm kind of curious. Like, where are you at right now on Mike Tomlin's job?
Oh, I have no problem with Mike Tomlin's job. The Pittsburgh knew what their problem was at the beginning of the season, and they tried everything to do to get them another receiver out there because, one, Pickens is so inconsistent, and two, they need another receiver to go over the top. But they could never make that deal go through because they tried to get the receiver from San Francisco, Ayuk, but they just could not do it. They knew they needed another receiver to go with them, to go with their running game, to open up the running game, but they never could. So their first option is to get a receiver. If they had got one of those receivers, that stud receivers that's rookie this year, they wouldn't have that problem. Because right now, they can compete with any team in the AFC. They just can't beat any team in the AFC unless they run a perfect game.
Well, they've lost 4 straight.
Yep.
Can they beat the Ravens? They play the Ravens on Saturday, the 11th
7
at
o'clock.
7 o'clock. What do you think
Hey,
about
look at the record. Look at the records. In the last 10 games, I think Lamar Jackson only has 2 wins against the Steelers.
Could be
Look
his
it up.
kryptonite. I'll check it out. I'll look it up. I will say also, though, last but not least, man, who's your MVP?
I got to go with Lamar Jackson. Man. I got to, man, because he's done something that no one else has done, man. He has 800 yards rushing, 4,000 yards, 4,000 yards, 4,000 yards passing, and all this, man. It's really good, man.
Man, hey, Terry, thank you so much for your time. Enjoy the rest of your Monday, and we'll do it again soon, Holmes.
All right, my brother. Talk to you later, man.
That's my buddy, TD. 901-360-8255. That's the Sissy's Log Cabin text and listener line. Life's too short for ordinary jewelry. Got a question, though. Who do you think the MVP is? Like, if you look at just the stats, I mean, you can say Lamar, you could say Joe Burrow. You know, Josh Allen's pretty good. By the way, Josh Allen's the only person in NFL history to produce 80% of the offense, to not have a single wide receiver eclipse 1,000 yards or a single running back have over 1,000 yards, and to score 3 points almost per possession for the season, 5th highest all time. And if you take Josh Allen off that team, I don't know, man. We'll discuss this a little bit more. And also, in what world does Lamar Jackson have 3 MVPs and Josh Allen have 0?
It's a good question.
It's a great question, I think. I don't know, man. Y'all do me a favor. Let me know
Who's
what
your
you
MVP?
think.
Or do you want to save
Honestly,
that?
I'll tell you on the other side. Do me a favor, though. Don't touch the dial. We'll be back in 2 shakes. Sports 56, 98.5 FM.
We are Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
You know, I think people forget there's a Central Barbecue location in South Haven.
And that's on us.
Well, you.
What does that mean?
Well, you're the spokesperson for Central Barbecue. It's your responsibility to remind people there's a Central Barbecue in South Haven.
It's very convenient that I'm the spokesperson when there's responsibility to be taken.
Just mention the Central Barbecue location in South Haven.
Got a lot to remember. There's the location on Butler downtown. There's a location on Summer, on Poplar.
And Getwell Road in South Haven. How hard is that?
I've heard you call yourself a spokesperson for Central Barbecue.
No, it was just to pick up chicks.
Hi, this is Troy Five Ash, owner of Five Ash Roofing. Did you know there are so many roofing companies in Memphis that I don't even know them all? So that begs the question, which one should you choose? So I thought I'd give you a little background about me. My grandfather was a World War II Marine. My father worked for the University of Memphis for nearly 30 years. My mother, a pianist at Raleigh Baptist Church. Seems like forever. I went to Brownsville Road, Craigmont, and Bartlett High School, class of 81. We support the local school systems, youth athletics, and believe in what St. Jude and Le Bonheur stand for. I'm a Tiger and Grizz fan. The point? Memphis is my home. Five Ash Roofing will be around if you ever have a problem with the service we provide. Five Ash Roofing, fair, honest, and ethical, with deep local ties in our community. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com.
Five Ash Roofing is what we do. We're here for you.
It's inevitable. Rain, snow, and ice are coming and will make driving a challenge. Thankfully, the experts at Tire Rack know a thing or two about conquering winter's worst. New tires elevate traction and will keep you safe. Tire Rack sells only the best, like the full line of Toyo tires. Go to TireRack.com/Colin. Build a winter tire and wheel package for do-it-yourself installation. Ship fast and free and backed by 2 years of free road hazard protection. TireRack.com, the way tire buying should be.
Sometimes you just want to make it fast, like the fun that comes from a quick and nimble 2024 Honda CB500F. This amazing style streetlight to narrow 471cc twin, along with sleek GT display, dual disc brakes, and standard ABS, all make it for a price. Find fun in all work Lexus 2024 Honda CB500F. Available at DeSoto Honda, 5656 Wheeler Road in Olive Branch.
Welcome back to a little Sports 56 Happy Hour. I'm your buddy Johnny Radio. It's Monday, January 6th. the day we have the FCS College Football Championship. Montana State, North Dakota State. Who's going to win? Montana State by 70. Is that what Jake said?
I think he said by a million.
By a million? Ooh, that's
I don't
a
know
lot.
if that's
It's a
realistic.
lot. They're 15-0 Montana State. North Dakota State's 13-2. They're both here for the championship. It's down in Frisco, Texas, at the Toyota Stadium, where guess who played? The Memphis Tigers. By the way, did you notice my Frisco Tigers gear that I got on today?
Yeah, your hat.
Yeah, baby.
I like it. It's a good
I like
looking
my
hat.
kicks better from the bowl, actually.
Oh, how about that?
Got a lot of good gear from that bowl,
Love that.
to be honest with you. But now we're not going to talk about some college football right here. For just a moment, we're going to talk about the NFL. Of course, everybody knows playoffs are set. I'm fired the bleep up. We'll definitely be breaking down the games. If you don't know the schedule, though, real quick, January 11th, which is Saturday at 3:30, you have the Chargers on the road facing the Texans. That night, you have the Steelers facing the Ravens at 7. Sunday at 12 o'clock, Broncos on the road to face the Bills. Packers face the Eagles at 3:30, and then that night you have the Commanders and Bucks. And next Monday, Minnesota Vikings and the Rams. Vikings, my goodness. I'll get to that in just a little bit. Sam Darnold is not he. he is not the dude. I mean, my Lord, 12 players from your defense out from the opening day. 12. And Sam Darnold was inside the 5-yard line, 4 times? Got 9 points. Jefferson wide open in the end zone. He overthrows him. My man was seeing ghost. And you got to give Terry Glenn a ton of credit, defensive coordinator who kept Darnold in the pocket, just stunting up the middle, coming around the edges, keeping him stepped up in the pocket, and just making him throw from chaos. And he does not like it. Reminds me a lot of Quinn. But Minnesota just got absolutely killed. He didn't look like an MVP, Sam Darnold did. Now, Jared Goff last night had a few bad plays, and the next thing you know, comes back and takes care of business. He's a guy we could talk about the MVP over in the NFC. But right now, the AFC MVP. I mean, it's right now, realistically. I mean, the MVP, Saquon Barkley, if he played and would have broke the record, there's also, he could have possibly won that bad boy for Philadelphia. Joe Burrow, what he did this year, Joe Burrow's numbers, honestly, this year are ridiculous. The problem with Joe Burrow is the team didn't win 11 wins. They don't have 11 wins, and the majority of MVPs have come from teams that have won at least 11 games. It's like 95%. But my goodness, Joe Burrow's year was just statistically ridiculous. And think about this. Joe Burrow had more touchdowns than anybody. And if you threw 47 touchdowns in any season, Peyton Manning won the MVP twice, Tom Brady, Pat Mahomes, Aaron Rodgers, Dan Marino, Drew Brees threw 46 in 2011, but lost to Aaron Rodgers, who had 45 that season. So getting up there with those numbers of touchdown passes, ridiculous. Looking at the Bengals defense, ridiculous. Joe Mixon's gone, breaking in new running backs, ridiculous. A rookie right tackle, injuries to the offensive line, starting the season 0-3, coming back from his surgery. Joe Burrow is awesome, but he's not in the playoffs. So he's not my MVP. Lamar Jackson's numbers are unbelievable. Going back to that bit, were you here when I did that bit about making Lamar Jackson a running back or a wide receiver?
That might have been right before me.
That was right before you. I was like, man, he's such an amazing athlete. If they just put him in a position to win, if they played him more like the Steelers played Slash, because at the time, I didn't know if he could actually read defenses, if he could completely deliver the football. I thought he was more of a gimmick quarterback who, of course, won MVPs, but it was electric. Now he's one of the best pure passers in football. Mm-hmm. He's reading defenses like he's Drew Brees. Did you see the touchdown pass that he threw yesterday? He threw it and turned around and put his hands in the air before the ball got halfway to his wide receiver.
You talking about him or you talking about Bryce Young? Bryce Young did the same thing yesterday. Did you see that? Wow.
Yes.
How good Bryce Young has been lately.
Falcons.
Holy cow.
Get to that. Raheem Mostert deserves
Future
to be fired
MVP.
Already. No.
Huh.
Not Bryce. Congratulations for winning Carolina. I'm sure it meant a lot to you. But the thing about Josh Allen is he counted for 80% of his team's offense. My man ran, he threw, he won games. He did not have a 1,000-yard rusher. Lamar Jackson's got Derrick Henry. He's got 1,900-plus yards. He's got Zay Flowers, Mark Andrews, Isaiah Likely. Josh Allen, like, they got rid of Diggs. They got rid of Gabe Davis. They bring in Keon Coleman, a rookie. Maury Late. I mean, what's the little bitty damn it, what's the little wide receiver's name for Buffalo? Shakur?
Yeah.
He made Shakur look like a good wide receiver. I just think Josh Allen, and again, do you realize the Bills beat Detroit, the number 1 seed in the NFC, and they also gave Kansas City
Khalil Shakir.
Shakir, thank you. Would I say Shakur?
Yeah, you said Shakir.
Shakira. I was thinking Shakira.
Shakira.
But think about it. Kansas City lost, yes, to the Broncos yesterday. We're not going to really count that. But Kansas City lost to Buffalo. Allen beat Kansas City. Allen beat Detroit in one of the craziest games I've ever seen anybody play in my life. I mean, that was an absolute shootout. So my lean is Josh Allen. Y'all let me know what you think. We're going to take a quick break. We're going to be back here on the other side. We're going to be talking about playoffs, ranking the teams in the playoffs, who's going to make it to the big game. We're going to talk a little bit about the college football games going on this weekend. I got some great Hardenwood stories other than just Joy Taylor, even though there's some great audio clips of Joy Taylor talking about how hard it is to be a woman. I think it's hard to be a woman, but I've never been a woman, so I guess I really don't know. Y'all tell me what y'all think about Joy Taylor. Did you know that she basically was just a bartender and a radio host in Miami and got her way all the way up? Slept her way all the way up? Man, that reminds me, dude. Do you remember Joe Brown when he was calling, when he said, I know a lot of pimps and hoes because I used to work for him in Memphis? And he's like, but one lady, man, I know a hoe when I see a hoe. That was Judge Joe Brown. Man, I bet she's feeling better that this is going out because now everybody's just talking about Joy Taylor.
That's right.
If you haven't checked that out, go check out your Twitter, man. Joy Taylor is hilarious. The memes are amazing. We're going to take a quick time out. We got so much more on the other side. Don't touch the dial. Sports 56, 98.5 FM.
Jenkins Floors and More invites you to their retail warehouse where they pass wholesale savings on to you. Jenkins Floors in Little Rock, Cleveland, Mississippi, and now open in Horn Lake at 2356 West Whitman Road. Specializing in flooring and carpeting, tile, plantation shutters, and blinds, Jenkins makes your life easy with a 2-week turnaround. Contractors, builders, or family projects, call 662-469-9350 for a free estimate. Owners Timmy and Rebecca Jenkins say hello to Sports 56 fans and look forward to your business.
With Progressive's Name Your Price tool, you get coverage options based on how much you want to pay for car insurance. And then you decide how to spend the rest of your money because you're in charge. And right now, you're going to pay for groceries. But you decide what groceries. Just keep in mind you're running out of dishwashing soap. But you decide if you're going to buy that soap. Just those dishes won't clean themselves, will they? Remember, with Progressive's Name Your Price tool, we'll help you find coverage at a fair price. Then you're in charge. There's a government insurance company available in all states. Basic coverage match limited by state law.
You know, I think people forget there's a Central Barbecue location in South Haven.
And that's on us.
Well, you.
What does that mean?
Well, you're the spokesperson for Central Barbecue. It's your responsibility to remind people there's a Central Barbecue in South Haven.
It's very convenient that I'm the spokesperson when there's responsibility to be taken.
Just mention the Central Barbecue location in South Haven.
Got a lot to remember. There's the location on Butler downtown. There's a location on Summer, on Poplar.
And Getwell Road in South Haven. How hard is that?
I've heard you call yourself a spokesperson for Central Barbecue.
No, it was just to pick up chicks.
This is Original Sports Station. We are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, and W253DF Memphis.
That was one of those things. When things get too heavy, just call me helium.
Now, back to Sports 56 Happy Hour on Sports 56 at 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by Tito's Vodka. Here once again, Johnny Radio.
Welcome back to a little Sports 56 Happy Hour. I'm your buddy Johnny Radio. You know this show is brought to you by the best. That's Tito's Handmade Vodka. Man, when you're thinking of simple, smooth, and everything's just delicious to the last drop, you must be thinking about Tito's. Because there's no frills, there's no flavors, there's no special labels. It's just the good stuff, the juice. It's 100% gluten-free naturally because it's made from corn. It's 6 times distilled. They still it in classic copper pots, old school method. That's why it's got that slightly sweet with the black pepper note balancing everything out. You could be crafting a cocktail or you can be drinking it neat. It's a cold, cold day, so curl up to a little bit of Tito's when you get done with your work. Speaking of the NFL earlier on the other side, talking about the MVP, Lamar Jackson's been marvelous. I mean, are you kidding me? I mean, right now, the man's processing everything. 41 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. Ridiculous. He ran for 915 yards and 4 more touchdowns. Ridiculous. But, man, did you see Derrick Henry, what he did this year? 1,900 yards. Actually, 1,921 yards to be exact. He averaged 5.9 yards a carry this season. He scored 16 touchdowns. And I don't know if you realize this, but Derrick Henry is the only running back in the history of the NFL, the only one, nobody else has done this, to have at least 15 touchdowns in a season and more than 1,500 yards rushing. Again, nobody in the history of the NFL. In 2019, he ran for 1,540 yards, 16 touchdowns. 2020, he ran for 2,027 yards, 17 touchdowns. This year, he ran for 1,921 yards and 16 touchdowns. He's a beast. Zay Flowers, definitely a number 1 wide receiver, 1,000 yards this year. I mean, Justice, by the way, Hill is a hell of a backup, people. Like a hell of a backup. Mark Andrews, Isaiah Likely, great tight ends. You've got just an unbelievable run game. I love Lamar Jackson. I mean, he completed 67% of his passes almost this year. 66.7 right there. His quarterback rating is ridiculous. But they got to do it in the postseason for me to get his 3rd MVP. Because I look at Derrick Henry, and it's kind of crazy to say this. Do you know who made Ryan Tannehill look really good?
Who?
Derrick Henry.
Oh, that's right.
And Lamar Jackson, I ain't comparing you to Ryan Tannehill in any way. But my goodness, it's amazing when those safeties have to step down in that box and when those linebackers first read is run, how much easier your job is. Is Lamar Jackson playing at a level that's second to none? Second only to possibly Josh Allen. And that's it. That's it for me. I need Lamar to go prove it in the postseason. And he's got his chance. Opening round against the Steelers, I think, is very...
Wow, how about this? Our good friend Darian Newsom just texted in, the man who usually produces your show, but he's out today. But he's still listening.
Up,
how about that? That shows how much Darian loves you because he's out and still listening to you. Derrick Henry is the only running back to have 1,900 rushing yards and not lead the league in rushing yards.
Man, Saquon did some damage this year. That is a great little nugget. I have to say, I feel like Nick Sirianni 100%. And I'm not saying that he would have won because it's usually a damn quarterback award. But if Saquon would have broken the rushing record and the Eagles, number 2 seed, what do you think? Like, is there any chance that he could have actually snuck up there and got that bad boy? Right now, he's plus 5,000. It's not going to happen.
No.
I mean, the odds are... And by the way, if you don't know, Josh Allen is the favorite. Lamar Jackson is number 2. Joe Burrow is number 3. In fact, our texters sent in here. Josh Allen 1, Lamar Jackson 2, Joe Burrow 3. Lamar Jackson is the greatest regular season quarterback of all time. Damn, I can't argue with that. He's awesome. Now, if Todd Monken runs the ball last year... If Zay Flowers doesn't fumble the ball right there going into the end zone, we might be talking about something totally different. But that's these are the facts that we're with. And the other fact is Buffalo this year, their expectations, were they as high as Baltimore's? Nope. Win total was lower. Baltimore was the number 1 seed last year in the AFC. So again, I'm just laying in Allen. Now we've talked enough NFL MVP. We got to talk about the teams that are in the playoffs and how you rank them and how you feel about them and their opportunity. Of course, Kansas City, over there in the NFC, they're just absolutely ridiculous. Pat Mahomes is the truth. It is kind of crazy to think about it. Like, Pat Mahomes is not even in a Pro Bowler this year, which is hard to believe because I still think, even though we're talking about Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, Joe Burrow, MVP of the league, I still think we're still playing in Pat Mahomes' world. I still think he's the best football player on planet Earth. But, man, right now, when I look over here at all these teams left in the playoffs, and I look at them all, I do think Kansas City, of course, has the best shot. They're going for a three-peat. Has it ever happened? No. Andy Reid is him. By the way, Kansas City's getting healthy. Have you noticed that?
Mm-hmm.
Dudes be coming back, man. Kansas City, it just seems like they're always playing their best football, and guess what? All roads go through Arrowhead. So, of course, Kansas City's way up there. When I look over at Detroit, do I hold them as in high regard as I do Kansas City? What they did last night was impressive. I don't understand how that defense, who again is missing 12 players. Alex Anzalone came back yesterday from that. Did you see his surgically repaired forearm?
Mm-hmm.
Dude was playing with a soft cast because the stitches aren't even healed. He was out there playing like a madman. Got nothing but mad respects for him. And Terry Glenn, caught a hell of a defense yesterday. Kevin O'Connell, every time he thought it was going to be man, or Sam Darnold thought it was going to be zone or whatever, they were just they were completely lost. And I think a lot has to do with Sam Darnold. Now, I love Detroit. I love Dan Campbell. I think they have one of the sickest offense in the entire world. In fact, Ben Johnson, who definitely is going to, he's going to be a head coach, right? There's no chance that he comes back to Detroit again. Right? I don't think so. The most offensive touchdowns in an entire season, you have to go back to the 2013 Broncos with Peyton Manning, where they had 71, the only offense that scored more touchdowns than Ben Johnson did this year in 2024, and that was 69. That's calling some plays. Now, do they have a great offensive line, some nasty running backs, wide receivers out the frame, and Jared Goff is playing out of his mind? Damn right they do. The Lions clinched the first seed for the first time in team history last night. This is a franchise, the best thing they ever had was Barry Sanders, and while Barry Sanders was a bad mamma jamma, Barry Sanders was basically a one-man team. They weren't successful. That's why Barry walked away after 10 years still being the best damn running back in the whole damn world. And by the way, Darren, have I been saying Terry Glenn instead of Aaron Glenn?
Do you want me to tell you the truth, John?
I think you do.
I don't know.
Oh, you don't know? Oh, because you weren't listening. Well, Darian Newsom texts me and he says, I think you said Terry instead of Aaron Glenn.
I was listening to you, but I just wasn't really listening to the names you were saying.
Yeah, sorry, Aaron. My bad.
Does he get a head coaching job?
He's going to definitely 100%. I think both coordinators are gone.
Head coach of the Dallas Cowboys next year?
No.
Oh.
Man, Jerry's dumb, man. Jerry's going to get some karma, by the way. You saw what nasty thing he did yesterday, right?
Did not.
Cooper Rush has a
$500,000.
This is the biggest.
See that.
I can't say the word that I almost said. This is the biggest Richard move in the history of ownership, especially for a billionaire.
Yeah.
Cooper Rush, if he played 55% of the snaps, got an extra $500,000. He ain't making all that compared to everybody else and their grandmother. And do you know who started quarterback for the Cowboys in the last game? If Cooper Rush would have played, he would have hit that 55%, and he would have got a $500,000 bonus.
Trey Lance, John.
Trey Lance did.
John, I'm glad you brought up.
Jerry Jones held him out to save $500,000. You a-hole.
I'm glad we're talking about this game now because, John, I think I can officially say this, and it really just clicked yesterday while watching that game. I think I'm officially out on Trey Lance. I'm out.
He threw a couple of decent balls. He didn't have CeeDee Lamb. He had basically nobody was there throwing with.
I'm out on him.
I don't blame you.
I mean,
He
he had
hadn't
that
done
one.
much.
He had that one play that looked so good. He rolled out, had a guy wide open in the end zone, and left it like 3 inches short.
Yeah, that was a bad one.
I mean, story of my life. But
I mean,
you know.
he'll be a holder. He'll be a second string quarterback.
That's
for
what
a
I
long
was saying.
time. I mean, Teddy Bridgewater right now is like the third guy.
Yeah, me and my buddy were texting back and forth about it, and I was like, I think I'm out. He was like, he's fine. He's not doesn't have that star potential maybe anymore, but he could be a backup somewhere. I was like, yeah, he can be an okay backup somewhere. Certainly not the best backup, but he'd be okay.
Marcus Mariota came in and looked good and ripped your Cowboys' hearts out, didn't he?
Yeah, that's okay. Now we're going to the draft. Ashton Genty, you're going to look good in the star.
Man, they need a running back.
Yeah. Oh man. And then they go out and they cut Zeke, and I mean what a pathetic signing last offseason. And we were all supposed to act like it was a good one. Oh man, Zeke coming back to the Cowboys, ridiculous.
Man, yeah, he's released. Do you think anybody picks him up? They had to pick it. Like wasn't it yesterday? He had to be picked up.
I think so.
I didn't even hear any news if he did get picked up or
No,
not.
I don't think he did. John, since we're talking about bad teams right now, you are the general manager for the Tennessee Titans. Congratulations, John. You've been promoted. Who are you taking number one? Or are you trading?
I know one thing. I 100% believe this. And I don't think this is some hot take. I think this is just actually normal and logic. They can't take Shedeur Sanders because they'll pull the Eli Manning move, in my opinion, and say, I'm not playing for you, Chargers. I don't see Shedeur and Deion being fired up to play for the Tennessee Titans.
I think Deion and
100%.
Shedeur could have a good time in Nashville.
I mean, they could have a good time because it's the bachelorette party host of the world. But I have a feeling that they would 100%. And by the way, I think he would hold out and go to somebody like the Giants. I just don't think Shedeur and Deion are like, man, you know what? Things are looking really good in Tennessee. How about let's go down there and mess with that? I just don't see it. Do you not think they would give the Eli Manning treatment?
I think they definitely could. But it sounds like the Titans, and maybe it is part of that, but the news that came out yesterday after the Titans wrapped up the number one pick is that they are in love with Cam Ward. They really like Cam Ward.
Well, it's a good thing they like Cam Ward because he might come play for it because I'm telling you right now, Deion would pull an Archie and Eli.
And that's a good point that I hadn't even thought about. I wonder if that's part of the reason that a lot of it, because you know how teams work. That maybe they're trying to get that. They want that out there of we love Cam Ward because they don't want to be in the position of, oh man, we really love Shedeur. We're going to draft him, and then Shedeur pre-draft or whenever starts going, no. I do not want to play for Tennessee. I want to play for the Giants. And now I'm looking at The Athletic just put out a mock draft with 1 through 18 all solidified, and they have Cam Ward going 1. They have Cleveland taking Will Campbell, the tackle from LSU. They have the Giants taking Shedeur at 3, and they have Travis Hunter dropping all the way to number 4 to the New England Patriots.
Damn. What about man? Why does everybody say Hunter's going to the Patriots?
I guess that just seems like a good fit for them. Browns is interesting. It has them taking a tackle, trying to shore up that offensive line with Deshaun Watson coming back next year. This one's also interesting. I think this one might be throwing out some hot takes. This one has Drew Aller, the Penn State quarterback, going to the Vegas Raiders, which
Drew's going back to Penn State.
Exactly, and that's what this says. It says, surprise, I know word out of Penn State is Aller intends to return to Happy Valley for another year. However, as reported last week by The Athletic, NFL GMs are still scouting Aller as a possible 2025 pick. Were Aller to declare, he might be a tick ahead of Alabama's Jalen Milroe in the race for QB3.
This year, this quarterback draft class, Jalen Milroe, he's got to, you have to do so much work. And remember when Tommy Rees tried to put him in that pro system and it completely failed? Mm-hmm. And they had to completely tailor the system where he threw deep balls and basically ran. They were successful when they did that. I don't see him as a polished pocket passer. Could not fathom taking him. I'd rather have Kyle McCord, to be honest with you, late, pick him up in 3rd, 4th round. and not have to even worry about something like that. And again, Cam Ward, his story is phenomenal.
Yeah, really is.
From a 0-star. Where did he go? Was that little school like
Infinite Word?
Infinite
Word.
Word.
Put some respect on Infinite Word.
Sorry,
Good
I
football
couldn't
program.
remember it. I was about to say something else dumb. And then goes to Washington State, and then goes and does what he did at Miami, like just legendary.
Mm-hmm.
Shador, I like Shador. I just can tell you right now, there ain't no way in hell he's going to go play in Tennessee.
Yeah.
I'm not. I mean, poor Tennessee. Like their quarterback situation is just disgusting.
Mm-hmm.
Do you go in the draft and try to get a new one? Will Levis ain't working out, or do you go the veteran route? I mean, look, Seattle and Geno Smith. He made himself $6 million yesterday.
Yep.
Damn, could
Good
you
for him.
imagine what a day Geno Smith had
Honestly.
yesterday?
Shout
Made
out
himself $6 million by just going out there and playing football. I mean, he got a career high in passing yards. He had a career high in completion percentage, and he had 10 wins in a season, $2 million each. Bing, bang, boom, bam. He made himself $6 million yesterday.
John, I have a Tyreek Hill update for you if you
Tyreek
like
Hill's
it.
bouncing, brah. I'm out, brah.
So you've already seen this?
No, what did he say?
He changed his Twitter profile picture to the Antonio Brown when he ripped off his jersey and started running out of the stadium when Tampa Bay was playing the Jets and was giving the peace sign to everybody. You remember that?
Mm-hmm.
His profile picture is now that picture with his face photoshopped on Antonio Brown's body doing the peace sign.
I like that one.
He's out.
That's a good one.
That is pretty good.
That is a pretty damn good one. By the way, back to I think I originally was starting to rank the teams that I think can get all the way to the Super Bowl. And I'm going to get back and actually start to do that.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I got you off the
No.
road.
You know how easy it is to get me off kilter. I have like ADD, man. One change of thought changes the complete course of my afternoon. You never know.
That's true.
You just whisper one word and I'm off. Kansas City, though, of course, I feel like has the best chance. I mean, Pat Mahomes is the baller. Andy Reid's ridiculous. I look at the AFC. The Texans are not for real. I don't believe in the Chargers. I don't think the Steelers can win with their quarterback situation. The Broncos are a cute little story. Bo Nix, by the way, I did not know he was going to. Bo Nix and Brock Bowers need to get a little bit more love for Rookie of the Year. Everybody just says it's Jaden Daniels. Brock Bowers broke the rookie tight end receptions in a single season. He's an all-pro. And, of course, Bo Nix, what he did in Denver after they got rid of Russell Wilson is ridiculous. Jaden Daniels is awesome. That was another sidebar from my ADD. But, again, looking at the teams in the AFC, the only teams that I even fathom, like actually beating the Chiefs, well, it's Buffalo Bills and the Baltimore Ravens. It's because of their two MVP quarterbacks, Lamar Jackson and, of course, Josh Allen. And Buffalo beat them in Kansas City. And the Baltimore Ravens lost at home last year to them in Kansas City. I think those teams. So, obviously, my first pick is Kansas City. My second one, not even in the NFC. To make the Super Bowl, I go with Buffalo. Hell, the odds right now are plus 475. Kansas City's plus 350. So the boys in Vegas do agree. Baltimore, do you go with the third and not go to the NFC? No, I can't do that. I can't do that. But I can't also put the Lions. Like, do you look at this Lions team with the bye and say they're the best team in the NFC?
I think they're the best team in the NFL.
Wow, with that defense.
Yeah.
Yesterday, that defense looked amazing, but did that defense look amazing because
they didn't look amazing against the 49ers the week before?
Listen, I've watched this defense, and what blew my mind, which 100% sold me that Sam Darnold is not him, is they were only able to put up 9 points. The 49ers threw 2 interceptions. Brock Purdy threw 2 interceptions, scored 34 points. The Bills scored 48 in their house. The Packers scored 34 in their house. Like, teams score on Detroit. They talked about how Detroit did not even punt the ball against the 49ers. Did you know that? They went for it almost every time. And by the way, Dan Campbell went for it on 4th down yesterday against the Minnesota Vikings. The Minnesota Vikings defense played well enough to win. They forced turnovers. They stopped them on 4th down. They stopped them on 3rd down. The Minnesota Vikings defense played out of their mind. Sam Darnold was straight trash. And I mean trash. 18 of 41. Do you realize that? For 166 yards. You got Aaron Glenn running man with all those wide receivers. Their whole secondary's beat up. And Sam Darnold completes 18 of 41 for 166, no touchdowns. Every time they were in the end zone, how about you look at somebody other than Justin Jefferson? Like, how about the dude that's wide open? And by the way, if you're going to throw it to Justin Jefferson and you throw 3 balls over Justin Jefferson's head, and he is 6'4" with amazing sick vertical, he's at least 6'2". He's a big target. I mean, like, I'm completely sold on Sam Darnold. But over in the football power rankings of who's going to make the playoffs, make it to the Super Bowl, of course, 1, I have Kansas City. 2, I have Buffalo Bills. Just something special about Josh Allen this year. And we remember, Josh Allen did go to Kansas City and almost beat Pat Mahomes. It's just Pat Mahomes moved the ball, 50 yards, and Harrison Butker hit a field goal at the end of the game. They had, 13 seconds? Like 2 plays, all the way down there, kick a field goal, rip Josh Allen's absolute heart out. And the Lions, the number 1 seed, man. Do you not see how many flaws that the Lions, am I the only one that sees how many flaws they have? I loved it.
I'm blinded by their offense, John.
Look, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Jamison Williams, Jahmyr Gibbs, that offensive line, and then also, let's be real, Jared Goff. They are ridiculous. But the concerns, Aiden Hutchinson ain't coming back. McNeil, their cornerback, Carlton Davis, out. You got Terrion Arnold, another cornerback. Like, how can you go all the way to the Super Bowl against good teams when you have no secondary, no pass rush? Now, they got all up in Sam Darnold last night. I don't know. I'd have to say it's the Eagles. Yeah. The Eagles, they got great defense, do they not? You got a 2,000-yard rusher. You got a dynamic duo at wide receiver in A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith. Only thing that gives me a little pause for cause is Nick Sirianni. Jalen Hurts is playing out of his mind. And then this is going to sound really crazy. I have to go back to the AFC, and I have to put Baltimore at 4. And then number 5, you won't even believe this. Over in the NFC, it's Detroit. Because they are the 1 seed and their offense is great. But the 6th best chance, I think, is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Baker's playing out of his mind. Mike Williams, what he did, him and Jerry Rice, 11 season, 1,000 yards receiving. The defensive struggles kind of seem like they've been shored up a little bit. Yesterday against, the Saints, division game, it was a little bit weird. But right now, like that Baker Mayfield-led offense, he's got 41 touchdown passes. Do you realize that?
Wow.
Mayfield has the 3rd highest completion percentage, the 2nd most touchdowns, the 3rd most passing yards, and Tampa Bay is also averaging 149 rushing through its last 4 regular season games. So if you're throwing the ball like Baker and they're running the football like Tampa Bay, how come they ain't up there with the Lions? Well, I put them right behind the Lions. And they do have a home playoff game that they are going to win because guess who that game's against?
I actually don't know.
Are you talking about you don't know that who was I just talking about?
Baltimore.
Oh, they're playing the Commanders. I was like,
so you didn't know.
Not Baltimore. I was talking about Tampa, the Bucks.
Oh, well, you'd been talking about Baltimore.
No. I'm saying the Bucks are playing the Commanders in the first round. That's pretty simple.
You confuse me with these lists, John. Bounce from one team to the other.
No, I'm saying I'm going through the teams that I think had the best chance to make the Super Bowl. 1's Kansas City, 2 is Buffalo. Pretty simple. 3 was a little bit hard, but I went with the Philadelphia Eagles. 4 is the Ravens. I got 5, the Lions, and then I got 6, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Just saying, like, if you look at the rest of the teams, like, everybody is so flawed. Like, do you believe the Texans? Absolutely not. They have a terrible offensive line.
Yeah, I don't. And
They don't
CJ
have any
Stroud
weapons.
has not been as good this year as he was last
It's amazing when you get hit the most in the NFL, it's going to cause you to see a little ghost.
That's right.
You don't believe in the Chargers, they're the Chargers. The Steelers, there's no way. Mike Tomlin has not won a playoff game since 2016. Think about that.
Wow.
That's crazy. The Broncos got a rookie. No. Jordan Love's banged up for the Packers. Do you believe in them? I sure don't. And they also played the Eagles in the very first round, and I don't think there's a chance they go into Philly and get by them. I love the Bucs against the Commanders. Jaden Daniel is still a rookie.
Right.
They look really good with Marcus Mariota. Jaden Daniels, Rookie of the Year, awesome. And, man, I'm telling you right now, I think the Vikings lose to the Rams. I think Sean McVay's smart. I don't care if I win this last game. I want Cooper Kupp. I want my man Matt Stafford. I want Puka Nacua. I want my defense. I want my running backs. I want everybody fresh. Fresh. And by the way, how much, like, I feel like Geno Smith should send $600,000 to Sean McVay. By not playing anybody, he got his 10th win. That was $2 million. Most passing yards. Threw all over that secondary, which wasn't playing anybody. I mean, completion percentage, he upped it up to his highest percentage. I mean, my man made $6 million off you not playing anybody yesterday. True. Give Sean McVay some love. But remember, Sean McVay, when that Rams team is healthy, the Rams are good. And I just kind of feel like the Bucs, like, when you have no pressure and your backs are, I mean, you like pressure burst pipes. We've seen it 1,000 times. But man, the Bucs, they get a home game against the Commanders. Nobody's thinking about them. And Baker Mayfield, he made a throw yesterday that I thought was one of the best throws I've seen all season. He is looking awesome, and I'm late for a break. I'm going to take a quick time out because we got some wood on the other side. Don't touch the dial. Sports 56, 98.5 FM.
We are real sports talk. Sports 56 WHBQ. Available on your radio dial at 560 AM and 98.5 FM, as well as around the world online at sports56whbq.com. Take us with you everywhere by downloading the Sports 56 app. And at home, just say, Alexa, play Sports 56. Sports 56 and 95 FM.
The 2025 Range Rover Sport sits right at the heart of the Land Rover lineup, offering a perfect mix of style, performance, and versatility. Smaller and more agile than a full-size Range Rover, it's a great option for everyone who wants luxury and practicality. Every model comes with 8-speed automatic transmission and all-wheel drive standard. Whether you navigate city streets or tackle rough terrain, Range Rover Sport has you covered. Every drive is powerful and breathtaking. The 2025 Range Rover Sport is the epitome of sport luxury. Test drive one in Jaguar Land Rover Bluff City.
Do you know one of the best things you can do for your employees or family's health? Provide Arctic Clear bottled water. Arctic Clear bottled water is your locally owned and operated bottled water provider. Arctic Clear is 100% natural spring water with free delivery instead of dependable service and no long-term contracts. An easy choice. Call Jeff Menas today, 901-382-2363, or visit arctic-clear.com. Arctic Clear bottled water. Call them 382-2363. That's 382-2363.
Nestled in the heart of East Memphis, located corner of Park and Cherry, is a beautiful residential neighborhood. I'm here at Town Village Audubon Park interviewing a new resident, Carolyn. Share with us why you chose Town Village. Well, if your parents or special friends need to make that big move, let me share with you my experience. It was tough for me to leave home, but then I discovered Town Village. I would like to highly recommend Town Village to you and your loved ones. After looking at all the amenities and meeting all the people and staff, I was hooked. From restaurant, bistro, 3 meals per day, housekeeping, transportation, security, health care, physical therapy, exercise room, and even a heated pool and spa. Come see us and make your new home in Town Village. Visit us and call Daniel at Town Village Audubon Park at 901-374-7342. There's no place like home, Town Village.
day, I consider myself the luckiest man on the face of the earth.
Now back to Sports 56 Happy Hour on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by Tito's Vodka. Here once again, Johnny Radio.
Welcome back to a little Sports 56 Happy Hour. I'm your buddy Johnny Radio. It is a cold, cold Monday, man. It's cold. But, man, I know where you can find some warmth. Put an APB on Joy Taylor. Oh, Lordy, Lordy, Lordy. I'm about to step in it because I like to have some fun, and we're about to have a little bit of fun, but it's always brought to you by some wonderful, wonderful folks like myautomaticgates.com. You heard me right, baby. I got a gate from myautomaticgates.com. Let's see, almost a year and a half ago, I'd say. And let me just tell you something. It's amazing. Somehow they seamlessly blend security, aesthetic appeal. They make the value of your property go up. They make it more secure. They make life easy. They come out there, they install it, they repair it, they maintain it, and bing, bang, boom. Life is just Gucci. Pull up to your house, just hit a little button, bing, bang, boom, it opens. Then it closes behind you. And plus, it just looks good, and it's so much more secure. Make yourself feel good. Make your house look good. Go to myautomaticgates.com. Let's go to Hardinwood.
This is Access Hardinwood.
Joy Taylor. If you don't know, she was a part of the Colin Cowherd show, remember?
Mm-hmm.
She's on what, Speak Now?
I don't know what the show
I can
is
tell
called.
we watch it a whole lot.
I don't.
It's called Speak on First Take.
But it's got a longer name. But Speak is kind of the shortened name of it.
Speak, a daily sports show giving unique
Maybe it is just
perspectives
Speak now.
on the biggest sports stories.
It didn't used to be Speak, I don't think. But it is Speak Now.
Yeah, man.
Huh.
And then Joy Taylor again. She has been accused in a lawsuit. Pretty bad accusations. The one that gets me is I'm not upset with her sleeping her way to the top or sleeping with people at work. Because I don't know if you know this, let's just be honest. Now, none of us are sleeping with each other because we're a bunch of dudes. But I have had other jobs, especially in the restaurant industry. My Lord.
Speak for yourself is what it used to be called.
Speak for yourself? And now it's just Speak.
Now it's just Speak. I like Speak for yourself better.
I don't really care. One way or the other. But if you didn't know, Joy Taylor's been accused of basically sleeping her way to the top. She started sleeping with some execs at Fox, some big ones, who got her also on the Skip Bayless show, where with Shannon Sharp, who got her on Speak, who keep pushing her up. Like Bayless didn't like her, didn't want her. My man comes in there and says, no, man, you're going to do this for me as a favor. Anyway, she works her way up. Now it's come out that she smashed Acho. She's going through Fox execs like it's water. She went from one to another to another. These are all the allegations. The one that bothers me, though, is if you read in it, and this is from her hairdresser. This lawsuit comes from her hairdresser, who had to deal with all these people. Said Joy Taylor basically was sleeping with everybody. That the execs shouldn't be doing what they're doing. That Skip Bayless shouldn't offer her $1.5 million because she's turned him down 20 times. Skip Bayless, by the way, said some rude comments. Like, did you hear the comments that Skip Bayless said to this young lady? He's like, hey, come on, man, let's, and he's like, Skip goes, the lady said, looks right at Skip Bayless and says, you're married. And you know what he said back to her?
What'd he say?
He said, I thought it didn't matter in your religion. Doesn't your dad have 4 or 5 wives?
Oh, jeez.
Whoa, Skip. And then comes back and hits on her again, and when she turns him down again, says, I'll give you $1.5 million. Skip. You know you can go to the chicken coop homes, spend a lot of money, and have a lot of different. But anyway, the point is that I was just kind of talking about, this whole Joy Taylor Fox situation. Now, Acho, like, listen. Again, when people go to work, and this is actually from a text, like, workplace sex is common. Let's just be real. Like, you ever, like, I mean, it is common.
Yeah, no, I know.
I mean, I don't want to, like, throw everything out, but, like, yeah, it's pretty common.
Different, you know, types of work, I think, more, you know.
I mean,
I worked at a restaurant once. Everybody was getting after it.
Yeah, I know. I mean, those are great places to work. I mean, like, the bad thing about restaurants and the good thing about restaurants is, one, you know what? I'm going to not touch this
smart.
with a 10-foot
Very
pole
smart.
right now.
Very smart of you, John.
Backing off. But again, some professionals, they're just going to make it, you know, easier to use those relationships. Is it, you know, like if you're a waitress and you're sleeping with the bartender, there's not a lot of power. Do you know what I mean? I'm not going to serve your drinks to my table while you're cutting off your own face. One, if you're like a business executive and you're sleeping with somebody that is underneath you, that's not a good look for you because you're using position of power, et cetera, but these things do happen. My friend texted in and she said she's kind of taken up for the Joy Taylor situation. And basically, I'm just kind of laughing. And again, the reason I'm laughing about Joy Taylor is because every single week, Joy Taylor went on another podcast. She was on Ryan Russillo not too long ago. I've watched through all these, where she's like, women have to work twice as hard. Women, to get to where I'm at, I have to be twice as good as a man. No, babe, you don't. You just spread your legs. Men are so weak. And by the way, I'll challenge all you men out there. Take the sexy part of the, oh, she's hot part away from women. And how many women are actually interesting? I'll tell you right now, not many of them. Just be honest. Tell me about my feelings and I want to go shopping. No, dude. No. That's why men are from Venus and women are from Mars or something like that. Didn't they write a book about that?
That's something.
Something like that. But my friend Serena, she texted and she says, those sports networks are definitely full of toxic masculinity. I can believe that. I 100% certain that's real hard for women. By the way, her saying it's really hard for women. I bet it is. To not only be taken seriously, but to do their job and to get respect from their male counterparts is also so hard. Not every man is a POS, but I would bet most are ishy, if you know what I'm saying. In private, behind closed doors. They know they can control the narrative when it comes to sexual harassment, or they can pay people off. I mean, yes, we can take very generalizations of a whole bunch of people, and let's just be real, man. Human nature, we're all bad. We're all bad. But a woman that uses her femininity to get ahead by sleeping her way to elevate herself or secure her position, and us going to basically check out the karma situation, well, eventually it will come out in the wash, she's saying. So if you sleep your way to the top, it's eventually going to come out. It's hurting Joy Taylor today. It hurt Miss Harris during the presidential campaign. Like, once it comes out that use a, as David Chappelle put it so well, use a hoe, like, that is a hard rap to get around, right? It is a hard rap. And it's not fair that we constantly do this as men. And again, I'm sure it's very hard to get into a man's world when you are a woman, unless you are sleeping yourself like to the top. Well, hey, Ramona Shelburne, I know she didn't sleep her way to the top. You know what I'm saying? So, you know what? You can get there on talent. Do you think Ramona, do you agree with me? Ramona Shelburne definitely didn't sleep her way to the top.
I don't want to speculate about what maybe successful women slept or not slept around.
I just don't feel like Ramona's like out there doing that. Like, I don't know, call me crazy. And then again, so basically she also wraps it up with, so Taylor getting backlash, I'm guessing she deserves most of it. But the young lady who started the suit, do you know how to say her last name?
No.
Faragi?
Is that it?
I'm guessing, no man. Like, I'm trying to,
sound it out.
Faragi.
Okay.
Faragi.
I like the first way better.
Faragi.
I like that.
I like that too. Miss Faragi. She's probably on point about both the men and the women in the situation. Basically called Joy Taylor a hizzy because she's always getting busy. But the biggest problem that Miss Faragee had about Joy Taylor is she said, Joy, you shouldn't be banging the other exec, and one of your co-hosts.
She was like a hairdresser.
She was
right?
the hairdresser.
Okay.
She said, don't do that. And Joy told her verbatim back, well, and she said, one, these men have power. You don't want to, the other one to find out the other one and the other one to find out the other one. And next thing you know, you're in a bad situation. And she said, Joy Taylor, back to her, don't worry, I have power. One of those execs comes down on me, guess what? I'm going to say that he was inappropriate, made sexual advances, and possibly say that he raped her. Now, that is insanity, because you know what happens when an exec, like a lady comes out, let's just say Joy Taylor was the first to the punch and came out and says that the Fox exec was misogynistic and he raped her, even though she's been sleeping with him since 2016. Like, that is just, like, wrong, right? So I just feel like Joy Taylor is just a sick, disgusting human being. Like, that, don't do that. Like, don't make stuff up to secure yourself. That's BS. The other thing I don't like about Joy Taylor is not that she's sleeping with men, because I love the fact, like, again, I wish I hired her. It's the fact that, like, she literally used, like, she was ready to throw people under the bus for basically doing what she initiated. And also, Miss Faragee, she said how Joy Taylor would show up in the most scandalous outfits with her big old bosoms poking out in everybody's business. Now, I think it is hard for women. I think it's just as hard for men, though, to say no. And now, and then again, Serena texts in and she said, Joy Taylor is getting what she gets today is because of the karma of, one, sleeping with a bunch of married dudes, and she was also cheating on her husband when she was married, and that's why he left her. So that's the karma. Sorry, I didn't mean to get that back. But it's also, like, I don't know, this whole situation is just wild to me. And it's because, again, the girl went out there every single week on every podcast and said the same things. Like, you don't know. Like, she went off. Remember when her and LaShawn McCoy were going back and forth?
Shady.
And Shady was going at her. Like, going, oh, please, man. You beautiful. La-da-da-da-da. If I didn't play ball, I wouldn't be here. If I wasn't a great NFL running back, no matter what I did, I'd never be able to get on air. Never. Like, the only reason I'm here is because of what I did on the field. And he just came back and basically said, the reason you're here is because you're smoking hot and have big old boobs. And that can be, like, both can be true. Shady, we wouldn't care what you think if you weren't an NFL player. And Joy, I wouldn't care what you think unless you had big old bosoms. I mean, have you seen Walking Bets? Do you know why I watch Walking Bets?
Yeah.
Because she has the biggest kahunas in the world, and she walks and gives out betting advice, and they bounce and they jiggle, and I'm just, by nature, I'm a biological, real deal, Holyfield male, and I can't help but, like, notice that stuff. That's like in our DNA. Like, it is. Do you know why no
You don't
man,
know her name?
Hold
That's
on, do you want to know something? Do you know why no man, there's not one man in the world that's ever won an argument when talking to a woman with no bra? Do you want to know why?
Why?
Because she's already made 2 good points, and you ain't got a chance after that.
I think it proves your point even more that you don't know the girl's name that does Walking Bets.
I
You just know her
I
as
watch
Walking
her
Bets.
every single weekend. It took me forever to remember Paige Sprinak's
Yeah,
name.
I believe that. So it's a weird name.
I get my golf
weird last
from
name.
her.
Yeah.
I get my betting advice from Walking
Golf
Bets.
season started over the weekend. It was a good tournament.
Wait, people played golf this weekend?
Sure did.
Where the hell they play is cold, man.
Hawaii.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Kapalua.
Who won?
Hideki Matsuyama. He set a record. It was the lowest score in a golf tournament ever in PGA history. 35 under.
I've also won 2 weeks in a row betting on Cal late night at like 11 o'clock at midnight.
Basketball?
Unders. Mm.
Cal?
I mean, Hawaii.
Oh, I love watching this Hawaii basketball
Cal
team. They're so
Poly and
good.
Hawaii played last Saturday night.
That's right.
The total was set at 153, I think.
Yeah.
They didn't even score 130 points.
Did you watch the game?
Hell yeah, I did.
That
What else was I going to watch?
Hawaii's big man, I love him. Christensen or something like
Chaz
that.
was at the casino.
The Washington. They call him
gambling still at the house.
He's from Washington. Excuse me. He's from Washington, like Washington State, and so they call him the Washington Post because he's a big man in the post. John, speaking of basketball, Memphis up to number 19 in top 25.
Hey, that's still kind of low in my opinion.
Ole Miss number 23. Yeah, actually, I'm glad you said that. Jeff Borzello, who covers college basketball, he tweeted out and said that he did his own top 25. He's not an AP voter, but he did a top 25. He had all of the 25 teams correct, but he said the spots were different, and something that he pointed out was he thought Memphis was too low in the poll.
My boy Brad texts in. He says, "Hey, radio. Did they fire Mayo at New England because he won yesterday and cost them the number 1 draft pick?" I think they were going to fire him.
That happened to Lovie Smith, notably.
Yep. I think they were going to fire him.
I think so. What a weird year for them.
What a weird day in football yesterday. We had a Josh Dobbs sighting.
Oh, Josh Dobbs. Space.
Dude. Man, yesterday was a wild day in the
I
National
learned he
Football
gave
League.
a massive donation to the aerospace engineering program at Tennessee a couple years back.
I bet he did.
Yeah, I learned that the other day. I met
Big old
somebody
brain.
that is an aerospace engineer student at Tennessee, and I have nothing in common with an aerospace engineer student because I'm not that smart. And so the first thing I go is, Josh Dobbs.
Josh Dobbs yesterday was back and went 29 of 43, 326 yards, had 2 touchdowns. Jimmy G, porn star Jimmy, played yesterday. They lost as well. 27 of 41 for 334 yards and 2 tutties.
Joe Milton.
Joe Milton looks so good, which is hilarious to me.
That touchdown he threw that got called back on the penalty.
What about the time when he was rolling to the right and he just flicks it with his wrist and throws a laser like 35 yards across the field?
Looks great coming off the bus.
Dude, ran in for a touchdown. Man. And by the way, did you see the backflip? Do you know how hard it is to do a damn backflip, that big old man?
And then do it in pads.
Dude, he's athletic. He's a freak. Hopefully they can keep teaching him how to
John,
play quarterback.
that became a big thing like when I was in high school is teams would run out before the game and do backflips while they were running out. Always knew if we were playing a team that hit a backflip while they were running out, we had already lost the game. I mean, they're going to win.
Yeah, y'all had no gymnast.
No, and when I played, we were much worse than what Houston is right now.
Ooh, I'm late for a break again.
You are.
Hey, peeps, I'm going to tell you who's going to win in a little football because we got Monday Night Football. It's not NFL action. It's the college form. It's the FCS Championship. Who's going to win? I'll tell you on the other side. Sports 56, 98.5 FM.
Join the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin, for Wolo and Friends. Weekday mornings from 10 to 11 here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
High-energy, full-body workout that utilizes the same equipment and technology employed by Floyd Mayweather to achieve his impressive 50-0 record. The workout features 4 types of heavy bags, treadmills, rows, battle ropes, weights, and much more. Visit Mayweather Boxing and Fitness, located at 2257 North Germantown Parkway in Cordova. Train like a champ. Mayweather Boxing and Fitness. 901-673-1267.
The largest full-service glass company in the U.S. They've been an industry leader for over 145 years. For all your residential, commercial, or auto glass needs, Bentoyer Glass is the name you need to know. 24-hour emergency service for all commercial customers, plus a nationwide warranty on all professionally installed glass. Visit Bentoyer Glass in Midtown at 340 South Hollywood across from the Liberty Bowl. Visit BentoyerGlass.com. Bentoyer Glass.
Fall is football at the Owner's Box Sports Bar and Grill in Lakeland, Town Square. Monday through Friday, happy hour from 3 to 6. $1 off all draft meals, $5 off meal drinks, $4.50 for house wine, and mozzarella sticks, queso, corn dogs, and more. Friday night lights from 7 to 11. Dining and by 12 Wednesday, 5 Raiders. Free on watch college football and every pro game. All at the Owner's Box Sports Bar and Grill in Lakeland. Highway 70, fall is but you gotta be willing to take the hit and not pointing fingers saying you ain't where you want to be because of him or her or anybody. Cowards do that, and that ain't you. You're better than that.
Now back to Sports 56 Happy Hour on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by Tito's Vodka. Here once again, Johnny Radio.
Welcome back to a little Sports 56 Happy Hour. I'm your buddy Johnny Radio. We got a busy week. We'll be talking about playoff matchups all weeks, breaking down the games, giving you a little gambling advice. We'll be breaking down so much stuff. I'm a little fired up. Tonight, though, it is Monday night. We love football. We don't have NFL action because it is the playoffs. We got Wild Card Weekend coming up. I'm so stoked about that. 2 games on Saturday. 3 games on Sunday and 1 game on Monday. Man, my math is just terrible in my brain. I was like, hold up, there's only. But we got a lot of action going on. But tonight, I don't even know how to tell you this because I feel bad because I do like to lead y'all to money. And I'm just going to tell you right now, I'm going to gamble on Montana State for one reason.
Okay.
It's because Jake Crane's buddy is the wide receivers coach. They are 15-0. In North Dakota State, come on, man. It's been a long time since Trey Lance and Carson Wentz. By the way, we had a Carson Wentz sighting yesterday as well.
Sure did.
NFL was crazy yesterday. But, man, I got to go with I can't go with the Bison. They played at their crib for so long. They're great at their crib. I'm going with Montana State, minus 3.5. The line has already moved a point. Have you noticed that?
Wow. So what is it now?
So now it's minus 3.5. It was 2.5.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
At least that's what I have written down. Doesn't mean I haven't made a mistake before. But, hey, go Montana State. I don't know what their mascot is, but go mascot.
They're the Bobcats, I think.
They're the Bobcats?
I think so.
Go Bobcats. For Dacus, I'm Harden. Get out there. Make the world a better place. See you on the flip side. Peace.